So, the semester ended. Esther, Day, all of their friends graduated. Day and Esther obviously were in top 10, along with their friends Chris, Eve, Raven was in top 10. And they all, of course, had guaranteed scholarships. They all went to celebrate together at the pizza restaurant, Pizzeri's. And of course, everybody had some family there, so it was a big celebration. Brandy tended to drink a little bit too much again, and so she went home a little bit groggy. The twins are in town, but they were delayed at the practice meeting for the WOW Grudge Match, and they really wanted to be there at the celebration, but didn't make it. They were delayed. Try as they might, they couldn't get away. So Esther and Day and Brandy, they arrived home at about midnight, a little bit before midnight. And when they entered the apartment, the twins were there very excitedly, and they ran up and they gave Esther and Day hugs and kisses on the cheeks. And then the twins switched girls and did it to the other. And they were so apologetic. They said they really wanted to be there for the celebration, but their manager and coordinator of the event delayed them for the whole evening. So anyway, they were excited, and they said, "You girls now can do anything you want. School or travel or what's on your mind to do." And so Esther said, "Well, I'm going into the Chicago Culinary Institute this fall for a 3-year program." And Day said she's going to the Chicago University of Medicine as a medical student. And then Brandy piped up, "And the best part is I get to keep both girls in my life for a little while longer." And she was very happy about that, and so were the girls, actually. And so Danielle, she said, "Oh, let's give them our gift or for graduation." And Tracy Ann ran over to her purse and pulled out 2 badges, the type you wear around your neck. And they had a long black ribbon on them that you would place around your neck if you wanted to. And they gave them to the girls and said, these are badges that allow you to get into any WOW event anywhere backstage. And you can bring in 5 friends with you if you chose to. And so between the 2 of you, you could bring in 10 friends. And so Esther and Dave were looking at the badges and realized that they would be nearly impossible to duplicate because they had heavily laminated, and they had the WOW insignia on it. And they had their photos too. Esther had her photo on hers, and they had her photo on hers. So it's almost impossible to duplicate these and copy them, make counterfeits. So the girls thanked the twins very much, and Day was just staring at hers, and she, loving the WOW, she was just in awe, and she said, wow, and she couldn't say much more beyond that. So at that point, Brandy said, you girls go ahead and visit because I feel like I need to go to bed now. So Brandy started down the hallway, kind of teetering as she walked, and Esther looked at Day and said, she'll never make it. I'll tuck her in a little bit later. And Day said, you're reading my mind. So the girls went ahead and were visiting. Esther said, I'm going to do my kata in about 15 minutes. If you girls want to watch, excuse me, you can. And the twins were excited, and she told the twins, go ahead and shower first and meet me in the middle bedroom in 15 minutes. And Day said that she'd be on the phone with her dad, and it would probably be a little lengthy, so she would not watch Esther Ranakata. And so in about 15 minutes, twins came into the middle room with their black pajamas on, very lightweight silk ones. And Esther had 2 chairs in the corner. And she said, I want you to listen to everything I say. She started her kata, and she were explaining how you never watch your opponent's hands because that can put a person into a trance. Many martial artists know how to hypnotize somebody with their hand movements, so always watch their eyes, watch your opponent's eyes. And so, almost at a blinding speed, Esther's moving about, throwing kicks and punches and eliminating imaginary opponents, all the while occasionally throwing out a suggestion on how to defend yourself. She said, never let anybody grab your hair. That gives them control of your head. And if they do, you should put your fist into their rib cage, and that pain will distract them, and they will release your hair. Esther also said, when fighting a superior opponent, stay close together, because two hands cannot defend against four hands. The same with 2 feet cannot defend as well against 4 feet. And so you have the advantage being a pair. And so Esther continued to throw out suggestions, and when she was done, the girls had fallen victim to hypnosis. Esther went up to him, calmly woke him and said, you had watched my hands and you allowed yourselves to be put into a trance. Always watch your opponent's eyes, never their hands. She says, I'm almost certain there are wrestlers that understand this and will take advantage of this ability to put someone in a trance using their hands. And so with that, the twins said they were off to bed and wanted Esther to join them. And Esther said, well, she would after she showered to relax her body. So Esther went with the twins to the bedroom. Dave was already asleep in the middle of the bed. The twins laid on each side of Day, and Esther went and showered, came back and laid next to Danielle and put her arm around Danielle. Now, experts claim that dreams are very short, just a few seconds. And yet, for most of us, dreams seem quite a bit longer than a few seconds. Esther found herself with watching the twins in the middle of a wrestling ring, and they were talking, and the audience was cheering him on. They had a microphone. All of a sudden, the microphone went dead, and the MC came out. His microphone worked, and he announced that WOW Jackson was going to be given an opportunity tonight to wrestle Satan. That it would be a change in the evening's events. And with that, Esther woke up, and she was puzzled by that. She was fresh and alert. She went, did her kata, prepared breakfast. Brandy came out half awake. Esther met her with some Jamaican coffee, and Brandy said, oh, this coffee is so great. And of course, Esther said, it's Jamaican, it's the best coffee. And the two giggled at each other. It's the morning routine to say this. Brandy made her way to the table, sat down, and sipped her coffee. Eventually, the twins came out half awake. Esther gave both of them some coffee and helped them sit down. And they were followed by Day, who had gone ahead and showered. So when she came out, she was pretty wide awake. She poured her own coffee and sat down and everybody was relaxed and waited for breakfast. Esther was having a fantastic time cooking up breakfast for everybody. It was going to be the beginning of a great day. This is a Saturday. The WOW challenge event was this evening. The twins, Day and Esther, were going to help their father at the grocery store, so they took off. Brandy was going to meet her boyfriend, the doctor, and everybody was going to go to the wrestling event in the evening. So Esther and Day and the twins, they went in the Escalade to the grocery store. They hugged their dad, introduced the twins, and Esther said, "Dad, we've accepted the twins as our big sister." And Mr. Ho was surprised pleasantly, and he said, "Well, it appears our family is growing because if my daughters have big sisters, then I have 2 more daughters." And he gave both a hug and kissed them on the cheek. So by noon they had stocked all the shelves and had done their work, and replacement crew finally came in. So the twins dropped Esther and Day off at Esther's home. They had to go downtown and prepare for the evening event. And Esther and Day, they got onto their motorcycles and drove to Mary M. Mary M's first person that Esther met in Chicago when she arrived from China. Mary works with her Aunt Brandy at the nursing home. And Esther always felt close to Mary, even though their paths didn't cross as often as Esther would like. Esther felt a close bond to Mary. Perhaps it was because Mary had been in the military once, special forces like her dad. So they knock on the door, and Mary comes and apologizes for being a little slow in answering the door. She says her cat, Tom, was giving her some trouble and she was talking to him. So Esther and Day walked in and they saw a box there, and Esther made a comment on it that, "Oh, good, you haven't opened our gift to you. We know that this is going to thrill you." And when's the last time you've been thrilled, Mary? Really thrilled? And so Mary didn't quite answer that question. She opened the box. Inside she found a motorcycle helmet. And Esther insisted that she put it on. And when she did, some internal lights came on and a voice announced that its name was Mo, it was artificial intelligence, and that Mary should state her name. So Mary did give her name, and Mo said, "Your voice is now recorded and is the only voice that will activate the helmet." And Mary took the helmet off and said, "Wow, that is absolutely fantastic." She was impressed. Esther smiled and said, "This is artificial intelligence that my good friend John has provided for Day and me, and we're sharing it with you. And we're on motorcycles tonight, and we want you to ride with us. You're going to love it." And she says, "I think in the future there's a bike in it for you." So the three girls visited a little while. They got on the bikes, started for downtown. Mary was impressed with her helmet because all the way it was pointing out people, their names. If they had a police record, it pointed out objects and distance. It recorded speeds of different things. And it made suggestions in the back. And it had a three-way communication between Esther and Day. So once they got to the stadium where the wrestling match was, they went inside on the lower level, and Esther parked next to the Escalade that the twins had driven down there. They got off the bikes and removed the helmets, and Mary said that was such a fantastic experience, and she was very thrilled. In the background, she heard the Gothic band music playing, and Esther said, "Let's leave the helmets in this car. It belongs to the twins that are friends of ours." That impressed Mary too. So the music stopped then, and Mary knew that meant that the wrestling was going to start pretty soon. So Mary got excited, really wanted to go to the main floor where the event would be. And Esther, with confidence, said, "All right, let's go see some WOW wrestling. Follow me." And the girls took off for their wrestling event.